The brand new joint venture ship Harmony had performed beyond Earth's wildest dreams. The fusion power supply, a partial gravity though out the ship. It was obvious the Mulnari were spoon-feeding us technology, and just as obvious that Earth had gotten very lucky with their first ally in the galactic community. The wormhole their technology opened was more stable as well, and after the initial tests it had its first mission. The Harmony would be sent to meet another neighbor, another first, as the Mulnari had entered the Sol system on invitation. We would be going to see the Roxanne. Earth's first trip to another system. Commander John Adams, a veteran astronaut, had been selected to run the mission. After travel through the wormhole, which opened into a location in the outer reaches of the Roxanne home system, it was time to get started. Commander John Adams stood on the bridge. The ship slowly advanced in, its advanced sensors and communications array broadcasting and listening for replies. Dr. Krobitz, status report, Adams called out, his voice taut with anticipation. Dr. Anand Krobitz, now Earth's leading Xena diplomat, looked up from her console. Commander, we're receiving a signal. It matches the frequency the Mulnari provided for the Roxanne. Adams nodded, his eyes fixed on the vast nothingness, watching for the first signs of shapes in the darkness of space. Open a channel? Let's make history. Again. As Anand worked to establish communication, Ambassador Harlock of the Mulnari glided forward, his gray skin shimmering under the bridge lights. Commander Adams, Dr. Krobitz, remember that the Roxanne are known for their direct approach. Do not be alarmed by their manner. Before either human could respond, the main view screen flickered to life. The image that appeared caused gasps across the bridge. The Roxanne were insectoid, their chitinous exoskeletons a deep burgundy. His compound eyes glittered in the dim light of their ship's bridge, and mandibles clicked as they spoke. I am Overseer Zex of the Roxanne Protectorate, the alien's voice crackled through the translator. State your purpose for entering our territory. Anand stepped forward, her voice steady despite her racing heart. Greetings, Overseer Zex. I am Dr. Anand Krobitz of Earth. We come in peace, seeking to establish diplomatic relations with your people. Zex's mandibles twitched, a gesture that the humans couldn't interpret. Earth? Ah, yes. The newcomers. We have heard of your emergence. The Overseer's compound eyes were difficult to read, but his head shifted as he clearly focused on Harlock. Mulnari, why do you bring these primitives to our doorstep? Harlock's skin rippled in what Anand had learned was a sign of discomfort. Overseer, the humans have proven themselves worthy allies. They seek only peaceful exchange and, Zex interrupted silence. We did not ask for your assessment. The Roxanne turned its attention back to Anand. Human, know this, the Roxanne Protectorate does not welcome uninvited guests. You will leave our space immediately. Commander Adams stepped forward, giving a subtle hand signal to the crew. Overseer Zex, we apologize for any misunderstanding. We believe this region to be neutral territory along the cosmic web. If we have inadvertently trespassed, we will, of course, withdraw. It had already been established if the commander gave a hand signal, the bridge crew would begin calculating the exit vectors. Zex's mandibles clicked rapidly. Your ignorance does not excuse your trespass. But since you claim peaceful intentions, we will allow you to leave. This time. However, we require compensation for this intrusion. Anand and Adams exchanged glances. This was not how they had envisioned first contact with a new species. What form of compensation do you require, Overseer? Anand asked cautiously. Your world is rich in resources, Zex stated. You will provide us with 100 metric tons of platinum. This is non-negotiable. The bridge of the Harmony erupted in murmurs of disbelief and anger. Adams raised a hand for silence, his face a mask of forced calm. Overseer, surely we can discuss this. Such demands without any form of exchange or negotiation, are you refusing? Zex interrupted, its tone ominous. Harlock stepped forward again. Perhaps we could arrange a meeting to discuss terms that would be mutually beneficial to both parties. The Mulnari would be happy to mediate. Zex snapped. The Mulnari will stay out of this. This is between the Roxanne Protectorate and Earth. You have one of your planetary rotations to comply, or we will consider it an act of aggression. With that, the transmission cut off, leaving the bridge of the Harmony in stunned silence. Commander Adams was the first to recover. Dr. Krobitz, Ambassador Harlock, conference room. Now. As the three filed out, Adams turned to his executive officer. Lieutenant Sims, set course back to the web so we can open a wormhole. Be prepared for evasive maneuvers if necessary. In the privacy of the conference room, Adams rounded on Harlock. Ambassador, you told us the Roxan were open to diplomatic contact. This doesn't seem very diplomatic to me. Harlock's skin darkened, a sign of distress. Commander, Dr. Krobitz, I assure you, this is not typical behavior for the Roxan. They are usually more measured in their approach. Anan leaned against the room's viewport, her mind racing. Could it be a test? A way to gauge our reactions or resolve? Possible, Harlock admitted. But it's a dangerous game if so. The Roxan are known for their military prowess. If they perceive any threat. Adams's jaw clenched. So what do you suggest, Ambassador? We can't possibly meet their demands. Earth's governments would never agree, and even if they did, we couldn't gather those resources in time. We need to buy time, Anan interjected. Commander, how long until we are close enough to the web to create a wormhole back to Earth? At our current speed, about 5 hours, Adams replied. Anan nodded. Okay. We need to contact Earth, apprise them of the situation. And we need to try to re-establish communication with the Roxan, keep them talking somehow. Agreed, Adams said. But we also need to be prepared for the worst. Ambassador Harlock, I know the Mulnari prefer to remain neutral, but can we count on your support if the Roxan attack? Harlock's skin swirled with patterns of conflict. Commander, the Mulnari abhor violence. We cannot engage in combat. However, he added, seeing the humans' expressions darken, we will do everything in our power to mediate and prevent conflict. And, if the worst should happen, we will assist in your evacuation and defense as best we can without direct engagement. It wasn't the answer Adams wanted, but it was better than nothing. Thank you, Ambassador. Dr. Krobitz, please work with Harlock to draft a response to the Roxan. We need to strike a balance between firmness and diplomacy. I'll contact Earth Command and update them on our situation. As they exited the conference room, alarms blared across the ship. Lieutenant Sims's voice came over the comm. Commander to the bridge. Roxan vessels approaching at high speed. Adams sprinted to his command chair, barking orders as he went. Bring all defensive systems online. This might still be a bluff. On the view screen, 3 Roxan ships appeared, their designs as alien and insectoid as their creators. They moved with a speed and precision that made Adams's blood run cold. They're hailing us, Anan reported from her station. On screen, Adams ordered, stealing himself. Overseer X's face filled the view screen, mandibles clicking furiously. Humans, you were instructed to leave our space. Your continued presence is an act of defiance. Adams stood, facing the alien with all the authority he could muster. Overseer X, we are en route to the web so we can create an exit wormhole as we speak. We mean no defiance. As we explained, we were unaware venturing this far from where we can create a wormhole would be seen as an act of aggression. We seek only peaceful, enough. Zex interrupted. Your ignorance is no longer an excuse. You will power down your ship and prepare to be boarded. We will confiscate your vessel and technology as payment for your trespass. Anan stepped forward, her voice urgent. Overseer, please. There's no need for this escalation. We are willing to negotiate fair compensation, but we need time to consult with our government. Surely, as a member of the galactic community, you understand the complexities of interstellar diplomacy. For a moment, Zex seemed to hesitate. Then, to everyone's surprise, Ambassador Harlock spoke up. Overseer Zex, I must remind you that an attack on this vessel would be viewed as an act of aggression not just against Earth, but against the Mulnari as well. Are you prepared for the diplomatic consequences of such an action? Zex's mandibles twitched rapidly, his head turning slightly as his compound eyes darted between the humans and the Mulnari. Finally, the Roxan spoke, its tone marginally less hostile. You have 1 orbital cycle of your planet to present us with an acceptable offer of compensation. If you fail to do so, or if you enter our space again without permission, we will respond with full military force. End transmission. The view screen went dark, and the Roxan ships peeled away, disappearing into the vastness of space. The bridge of the Harmony erupted in a flurry of activity. Adams turned to his helmsman. Get us to that wormhole, maximum safe speed. He then faced Anan and Harlock. Doctor, Ambassador, we need to prepare a full report for Earth Command. They need to understand the gravity of this situation. As the Harmony raced towards home, Anand stared out at the stars, a sense of unease settling in her stomach. The galaxy, it seemed, was not the welcoming place they had hoped for. And humanity, still new to the cosmic stage, had just received its first harsh lesson in interstellar politics. The incident with the Roxanne would change everything. As the Harmony hurtled through the cosmic web, Anand knew that the dreams of peaceful exploration were giving way to a stark new reality. Earth would need to be prepared for a galaxy that was not just wondrous, but also dangerous. The age of innocence was over. The age of vigilance had begun.